Hello, welcome back to the No Bullshit Podcast. We are talking about the Tag movie, Tag, starring Hawkeye from the Avengers. Basically, Hawkeye plays tag with his friends on his off time.
Yeah, that's
from the Avengers.
In Avengers.
This is why he wasn't in Infinity War. So we're here to see what happened. What the hell was going on? I don't know. We're going to talk about it today. I'm here with the boys. I'm here with Benjamin Franklin and, of course, Russell Simmons.
And this is the Tag movie review on the What the Falk Show. I'm with the Falk Show. We have Brooks Heatherly of the No Bullshit, and we have at McNugget of the McNugget Corporation talking about the movie Tag. So starring Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye from Avengers or from The Bad Guy in SWAT. Great movie. We have Ed Helms from The Office.
National Lampoon's Senior Trip.
Yes, very true. And then we have, who else we have? We have Hannibal Buress, the guy who outed Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Pretty great in this.
Yeah.
We also have Jake Johnson from New Girl and from, what was the one that become cops? Let's Be Cops. So pretty good cast. Yeah.
Jurassic World.
Isla Fisher as well from The Crazy Girl from Wedding Crashers. So far, if you haven't seen Tag yet, this is going to be mostly a positive review. We all thought it was pretty damn funny. Thanks for fucking listening.
For sure.
First, we get into the trailers. We start at the beginning of this review.
I will say about the cast, you're talking about it, like, great cast. Like, overall, they did a good job.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of good people, too. Like, you went off of, like, already. That was only, like, half the names.
Even the journalist, like, she's blowing up and starting movies. She was in The Mummy, and she was in Annabelle, and she's, like...
Peaky Blinders.
She's also in X-Men First Class.
She was in Peaky Blinders. Probably her biggest thing.
Nice.
Yeah. And they had other appearances, like I could just think of every single person. Like, it had the guy from Silicon Valley.
Yes.
Rashida Jones. And then the girl, like his wife, there's like a wedding. The wife, she's really funny.
That's what Isla Fisher from Wedding Crashers.
Leslie Bibble.
The other wife.
Oh, Leslie Bibb.
Yeah.
She was great as a crazy wife. Yeah, great job. I was actually happy to see her that. Her big fame was Nip Tuck. Anybody out there who watched Nip Tuck, she was the first victim of the Carver. And she's actually carved out a pretty good career so far.
Amazing movie called Trick or Treat.
She was in that.
She's the first victim.
And she was in Hell Baby, another good movie with Thomas Lennon. So we can just throw out all the movies that
she's good.
You haven't seen Leslie Bibb.
IMDb
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, first, overall, great cast. They did a great job.
Yeah.
They all performed well. They went together well, like, because one thing I think we mentioned on the way over was just how each person brought some flavor to it. Like, you had Hawkeye bringing some good action.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good action in the movie. We could talk about that more later, but specifically with the cast, Hannibal was cool. Like, he brought his sense of humor into it really well, and he's a really funny guy.
Well, Hannibal, I felt like his biggest thing was being the mind of the audience.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when I was laughing about something, thinking a joke in my head, it was what his joke was.
Yeah.
So he was kind of saying the phrases that we were thinking as we were watching the movie.
He kind of stole that movie a little bit.
He did.
He had all the best lines.
He was really good. Yeah.
He had really good lines in there for sure. And then other people were like funny different ways. We go back to John Hamm, who's like Ed Helms. And that's what I wanted to say about Ed Helms specifically was it just gave me like that Hangover vibe. Maybe just because he's in both movies. I don't know if there's like a relation to the style, but obviously they're both comedies, and I think they're both really great comedies. Yeah. I don't know if this one will be as legendary necessarily, but I think Ed Helms is like he's in another, I think, great blockbuster.
Ed Helms is like, he surprisingly had a nice career of like surprisingly comedic performances.
Well, he's good at the ensemble comedy. I thought that was perfect for this. And I was actually watching an interview on a game night, DVD commentary, and about how Jason Bateman loves ensemble comedies because you only have to act, you only have a line every 6 lines. So you have a lot more time to yourself, right? Yeah. And this movie kind of reminds me of Game Night because it's kind of one of those better ensemble comedies we've seen like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So overall,
I definitely thought of Game Night too, but just because also these are like the 2 funniest movies of the year.
Yeah. So
I don't know which is which. I think you were saying Game Night over.
Yeah.
But I like Tag a lot as well. I think it's close.
I think both watch, I kind of feel the same. I don't know how the rewatch is going to be, but overall, something I put no stock into or expectation. How I think anybody going to this movie shouldn't. It's just overall, if you want some wacky fun, you don't take it too seriously. It's fun, and it makes you think, hey, maybe my friends and I should do something that could get famous and also become a movie because it is based on a true story, which they talk about, which is pretty interesting.
And that's cool. Like, I'm glad to go to the story because I like that it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
And it has that heart to it. Like, you could tell it's not perfect and like it's unbelievable, but it's believe. But that's why you believe the movie because it's so out there. These people are playing tag for 30 years.
Yeah.
And to see that come to life on the camera on the screen, it was fun. And it was also on top of that, it's an original comedy this year. Like, no sequel.
True.
No like I mean, it's derived from like a real story, but that's hardly like.
I mean, that's how you get story. I mean, that's how you get movies. I mean,
yeah, if there's a tag too, then we've really gone to the bottom of the barrel in terms of making movies.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I want to know exactly.
Does it have to be called dodgeball or something, like to do a different game?
I want to know exactly how word for word verbatim it was to the experience, because we saw in the end there was like certain scenes that they did dress up as. We wonder like if the ending was that still the same that happened with the characters.
What's crazy is the video. You know, they actually had live video of like them playing the game.
Yeah,
and I can see how
some
crazy
of the clips.
antics they did. You know, so they definitely, you know, I think obviously it's a movie, so they're going to over exaggerate on certain things, but like I think they're pretty close to this.
Well, and perfect for your No Bullshit podcast is that they had a black guy in the movie, but he wasn't there in real life, so that was
they show the group at the
trying
end,
to go along with 2018 movie
diversity
kind of thing.
Means less white.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat though. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We see Sovereign in here saying cheers, buddy. Make Russia great again. That's an awesome screen name. What up, man? What's up to you? We'll take your questions. Thanks for tuning in. We're talking about tag.
Well, if that's a question, make America great again. I think it's about start training more people like how you trained Ivan Drago, and he can go ahead and help you win more Olympics and become like awesome Fast and the Furious people. So
yeah, you know what?
That would solve everything.
Saudi Arabia in the World Cup. Did you guys see that?
Oh, they didn't. I'm sorry. I'm rooting for America. We haven't played yet, so.
We're not in it.
We're not going to lose a game. I know that. We're not going to get a single goal scored on us.
But I will say Russia is looking good lately. Like, I think Russia's kind of like trying to come back to our side. Like you see how like Trump and Putin are kind of like hanging out now, friendly. They talk on the phone. It's like
Russia's looking kind of sexy to you right now.
We're trying to like bring back. It's like I like
Russian sexiness.
No, but I like Russia. Like you're talking about Drago. You're talking about old Cold War stuff. Like it's cool to come back with them now because I mean all the other countries ain't shit. At least Russia.
Drinker?
A coffee drinker?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm more of a sparkling water drinker for my stomach. You know, like that Arrowhead lime flavor is pretty good if you're trying to get off the soda.
This guy over here.
Hollywood Hills, the hills of the valley. A lot of hills around here.
Okay, so we're off the movie for a minute. We'll come back. Tag was awesome though. Thanks, Robert, for tuning in as well.
Yeah.
But let's do the trailers. You're about to say the trailers.
Well, so trailers I think were pretty interesting because all may be watchable on Movie Pass. I don't know if we'll do a podcast, but the first one that comes to mind is The Nun. So I don't know much about these horror movies, I'll be honest. But so this is the fourth. So first we had The Conjuring, Conjuring 2, and then Annabelle.
Well, no, it's Conjuring, then Annabelle, then Conjuring 2, then Annabelle prequel.
So is it that in The Conjuring?
I can't even keep track of that.
Yeah. In The Conjuring, the evil thing in The Conjuring is Annabelle, the doll?
No, she's just a very quick moment in the beginning of the movie. So
and there was enough to make a whole movie about it?
People like, oh, that was really creepy because it's a very early story, and it was like maybe first 10 minutes of the movie to introduce how they were like can talk to the spirits and stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't really see much about it. It's just a quick scare, and it got enough people thinking like, hey, let's make a movie about an evil doll. And
you're talking about The Conjuring, right?
Well, yeah, I'm talking
the first one.
And the spin-off is Annabelle.
Yeah. Conjuring itself was a great movie.
I actually watched that one. I think that's the only one I watched.
Dude, Conjuring 2 is really good as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually better than the first one.
Okay, I need to maybe try those other ones. Like I like horror sometimes, but it's tough genre because there's just so much shit. Like I feel like it's one of the like lowest percentage of good movies. Like 1% of horrors are good.
Well, it was like jump scares, loud noises. So it kind of The Nun. If I'm really really bored and want to go with the woman, then I guess we can jump scare.
The Conjuring was more than jump scares. Why I liked it. Like it had
a cool story.
There are a lot of good horror movies out there, but
I fell asleep in the first one. I'll be honest.
In the movie?
In The Conjuring? Not in the movie. On like DVD at home.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was when we were watching at our friend's place. But no, I think there's like a lot of horror movies. They're deeper than a lot of people give them credit for, and the really good ones are iconic for a reason. Like they last forever. Like Halloween series, Friday 13th series, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
like those are iconic for a reason.
So then, bottom line, another Conjuring spin-off movie. This time, The Nun, an evil nun. We got the girl from.
So The Nun is from Conjuring 2.
Okay, and the girl who plays the actress, the main white girl in this one, I think, is the girl from American Horror Story.
Yeah, it's her sister.
Safar Miga.
So the one that
is she related to Vera? No, she is in real life.
I think that's her younger self.
That's hilarious. So she's actually playing the younger version of her actual sister in real life. Vera Farmiga, you know, from I guess movies would be like Departed, really famous movie. She's the one they fall in love with.
Yep.
Also watch her in
she's the girl in The Conjuring, right?
Yeah. Conjuring,
yeah. What's the Paul Walker one she's in that we like? Running Scared. Yeah, she always gets down in movies, so she's probably gonna get naked in this one for sure.
She's a hot.
I kind of doubt that since it takes place as nuns.
But nuns have fun too.
How about they're not going to get none of my business?
Oh, okay. What about the next one?
Me too.
Searching with John Cho. It's actually kind of scary.
Watch that. Like, I want to watch it just because it looks. I like John Cho too.
Yeah.
So
Well, I feel like as a prospective parent, possibly someday, kind of pretty scary. Any parent who watches that would be terrified.
I feel that's a crazy twist coming. Because
I thought the same exact thing during the trailer too.
Yeah.
I almost said something, but it's like it's so dark. But then at the same time, like what you're saying, like that's what they want you to feel. They wanted this movie to like be like, oh. If you're a parent, you're gonna be scared as shit.
Don't let your kid get on Facebook. But in a way, they really should monitor their social media
it's not just Facebook,
interactions.
It's like he's using every means of social media to find his daughter. So he's got, like FaceTime, you talk or you chat, YouTube, like all these like elements to try to find his daughter. But I think there's a bigger mystery that we're not being let into.
Well, you're saying using technology to find her, right? I'm saying the whole reason the story happens is because she's using technology to interact with evil things or illegal things we don't know yet that would cost her to go missing. And so I think it's pretty prevalent for right now.
There's no other way we really can handle business.
Yeah, but there hasn't been a movie about it, is what I'm saying. Yeah. She's 15. He thinks she knows exactly who she is. It turns out she has a whole other cyber life. Yeah. And that does happen, right? So that's a movie that I think will make good money. I think it'll be good for John Cho. You know, obviously, you know him from as the Asian guy from Star Trek.
Oh, Harold and Kumar.
Harold and Kumar is probably a better one.
Yeah.
So what was the third one? Searching, The Nun, and the third one, Crazy Rich Asians. Now Brooks,
I remember that.
Of course, Brooks is not very happy with this movie.
Yeah.
We're actually both with Asian women, so you know I think this is gonna be we're probably gonna see with them maybe.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost me.
It's gonna make a lot of money, bro.
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna make a lot of money.
We've seen this love story told before.
Yeah.
Just from another perspective, and it's the fact that they've gone this route. I mean, I think it's smart.
So it's more of a
middle-class
Asian girl meets kind of one of the princes of Singapore. She goes back to meet his family, and of course, she's kind of the mob doesn't like her. She's poor, so it's kind of that class, class struggle. Yeah, that we've seen a lot of years.
You that just because I don't have any money doesn't mean I'm not special.
Exactly. Yeah.
I thought that trailer looked.
Don't think you're better than me.
I definitely want to watch that one. Like, it looks funny, but it was just kind of like parts of it were cringy, like. The whole Aquafina, like I just don't like. I don't think.
Yeah, you're not a big fan of her. Neither was Nicola last week on the
voice
Ocean's
is
8.
really annoying.
Yeah,
and like she just like tries too hard, but she's funny, and they put her in everything, and that's what we were talking about because she was in the movie last week, Ocean's 8. Yeah, and she she looks like a boy the whole time. But this one she does too. She has like dude hair.
Yeah, blonde dude hair.
I don't know what's up with that.
She's gonna do about
probably
3 or 4 more movies in that role. She'll definitely do that. Then she'll try to break out something else. It'll either work or it won't. If it doesn't work, she'll probably won't see her much, or she'll be the loudmouth girl in a sitcom, most likely.
So just keep doing her stand-up.
Yeah.
So
keep doing her. Oh yeah.
She's a rapper too, by the way.
I haven't seen her stand-up actually, so I don't really know much. I know she was the funny girl in Ocean's 8, or tried to be.
Sorority.
Yeah.
Or what was that movie? With the Neighbors too.
Well, she was in Neighbors too?
Yeah.
That's where I first saw her. She was on Sorority.
Okay.
She usually wears like those glasses.
Like,
that's what she wore for like a long time in like the first year of her career anyway.
So yeah, make a lot of money. We would say that we like Tag. The trailers are probably a little underwhelming overall.
Yeah,
so
surprisingly.
Little preview of the movies that you can check out. I'd say if you want to get back into Tag, I'd say it was pretty interesting how good it was based on a premise that you just don't really take seriously, like, guys who played tag for 23 years. But then they add a lot of elements, like with Jeremy Renner, he kind of has this narration in his head and there's slow-mo, which really makes those scenes funny to me.
It reminded me of Sherlock Holmes.
It did. And actually, all the characters really well cast. Jake Johnson does a good job as the loser, lovable loser, right? John Hamm was great as the little insecure, overconfident guy with some stuff going on.
Dude,
Ed Helms is good as kind of the straight arrow. Isla Fisher was great as the wife. So overall, if I'm thinking overall, it's like, okay, this was good comedy. I say we say Game Night was good comedy, and then I think another one with Isla Fisher and John Hamm. Meet the what was the one? The Millers when they're under
Robinsons.
No, it's when
I know what you're talking about.
Zach Galifianakis.
That movie's great.
That movie's really funny too. Meet the Smiths, something like that. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. It's like. Yeah, it's a movie where they're spy neighbors.
Yes. So I guarantee you, if you like the ensemble comedies and can jump into something that's not too serious, then you're going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I think it's a great comedy. Good for laughs. Good if you like any of those cast members because they all get like a lot of good lines.
And they give you what you're used to seeing them in.
Right? Yeah. And then definitely, like you were saying, for sure, like there's a lot of surprises in there. You're talking about like the thing where he sees moves coming, like Sherlock Holmes style.
Yeah.
And that was cool to see because like I saw the trailer or I heard about this movie coming out. You hear about the story Tag. There's this real story it's based on. And you just like, I kind of like wondered how they would play it out in a movie.
Yeah.
But in the way they did it was cool because it was like comedy. It was pretty straightforward. But then there were those moments where they kick in Sherlock Holmes style. And then in addition to that was also just like, the action. Like it would all of a sudden, like it was very brief. Like there'd be like these moments for like 1 minute, or maybe just like one jump move where they try to tag someone, and it turns into like a Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah,
and it's just like it's really intense, really quick moves, and like sometimes more people getting hurt. Like there's some real good pratfalls in here too.
Well, McNugget or Miguel, however you want to go by, you were saying that Jeremy Renner broke his arms.
He broke both arms in this movie, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's funny, he went through all these action movies where he's in the,
yeah.
Recently he's been doing obviously all the Marvel movies and other
he had a lot of stunts in this, though. That's the thing. Like
Yeah,
just as much as like the Avengers.
Yeah.
If you think about
Well,
it.
he's shooting
like-
Avengers 4 right now with a cast on both arms.
Wow.
It's crazy. So
Okay.
Well, dude, it's also, I mean, I don't know if it's more, but like he gets kind of more in this movie because he's more featured.
Yes,
You
he
know,
is.
like he's
the
like
main guy.
Hawkeye and everything. He's always just like this side character. Nothing wrong with it. He does a great job with it. But like in this movie, most of the action is involving Hawkeye at some point because they're coming after him for most of the
I
time.
can give Jeremy Renner credit. Like he took a break from Hollywood to start a whole other career, and he did really successful at it. And he's like, you know what? I decided I want to come back and try acting.
Well, he's always had other careers. Even when he was coming up, he was a makeup artist.
Huh.
He flipped houses.
Well,
you know.
I flipped house. That's where he made.
He's from Merced, I believe, California, with a new
I didn't
kind
know
of
that.
central California, where
He's
they have a
awesome.
new UC there, University of California.
Yeah,
So we can relate with him a lot. He's done so many different jobs. He actually produced this show I tried to watch called Nightfall on History Channel. So he's been putting his hands in everything, really trying to make some money.
Yeah, he's good. But there is one thing I'll be remiss if I don't talk shit about him just a little bit.
Okay.
Just because he's just like, just for fun. Like, okay, first of all, let's talk about him in that Jason Bourne movie, that really shitty.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's like the
There's some
low
moments that are
point.
still kind of cool.
But it's bad because we know what we could have gotten.
Yeah.
It was
You
just
know?
like a weird. Okay,
But they got
that-
another actor that can do like straight face well, but not see. But he wasn't as endearing as Matt Damon. Matt
it
Damon
sucked.
could do
That's
straight
why it
face.
sucked. It's because he had to try to fill Matt Damon's shoes. Like,
Yeah.
it was like this Bourne movie. It was like the one Bourne movie without Matt Damon, and then it got even worse because now Matt Damon's come back to the series.
Yeah.
So there's just this like one nested in there.
Kind of washed it
Set
away.
up, it's
Yeah.
set him up to get fail in a sense.
Well,
Yeah.
I would hope that the listeners, anybody listening, who do we have? We have Sovereign Humanoid 33, Make
Robert.
Russia Great Again.
Yeah.
Robert McTrick. If you haven't seen Wind River, a movie with Jeremy Renner,
Yeah.
it was written by the guy who wrote Hell or High Water. It stars Elizabeth Olsen. Solid movie.
Jeremy Renner, yeah.
He did a great job in that.
Yeah, I would
So
definitely recommend checking it out.
Yeah.
As well. Solid
Yeah,
movie.
no, I still love the guy, but I think there's some like just to joke around like that movie, and then like it just overall like he's not like a pretty guy. Like he's kind of like an almost like an ugly like straight looking guy, but he pulls it off.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, he has like a really ridiculous hairdo. But I mean, I think it's part of his character or something.
So are you saying that you don't find Jeremy Renner attractive? You wouldn't kiss him?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not
He
a
asked
pretty.
you to
He's
dance,
not a
you
pretty
wouldn't.
boy.
Not a pretty boy.
If you
No.
asked you to dance, you would say no.
No.
Oh, wow.
You know, he's saying no. He wouldn't say no.
So Jeremy Renner, I'm sorry out there. No bullshit.
He just said no. He wouldn't say no. So he would dance.
Oh, so
with
he
Jeremy
would
Renner.
I won't quit you.
Yeah, I won't quit you.
I want to see him in a Brokeback Mountain sequel.
Great.
He replaces Heath Ledger.
He plays their kids, and then they don't get together, but then their kids get together. That's like a little. That's a lot.
At that point, what's the point now? It's not as
Yeah.
big of an
What's the
impact.
point of anything? Okay. Anybody
Wow.
listening right now,
We got dark
SoundCloud,
deep.
iTunes, YouTube, we're talking about movies. We're reviewing movies. This week it was Tag. We liked it. Check
That
it
was
out.
great.
I'd say matinee, full price. I don't know.
I give it
I like
like
saving
a-
money. I'm more of a matinee guy.
Yeah,
you
so
know.
I think
Because
it's worth it. I mean, it just depends on like if you're going or if you like comedies, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good date movie as well. Like if you just want something lighthearted and
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Wait, how many
Like-
flames do you give it?
That's the thing. I was saying I don't know if I could give it all the way up to 4. I liked it, so I was between 3 and 4, so I'll just say 3.
Okay, if we're gonna rate. Okay, so you were okay, Brooks. We're doing 3 out of 5 flames
3 out of 5 flames
for
I'll start
Tag.
with that,
Okay,
yeah.
Miguel. What about you?
I'm gonna give it like a 7.6.
7.6 out of 10.
Yeah, out of 10. It's pretty.
Out of
normal.
5 that'd be a very good score.
Yeah,
Out of 10.
out of 10.
I'm gonna do a
I don't
3.
give extra credit here.
I'll give it a 3.3 out of 5, which would be a 6.6 out of 10. Solid movie, solid watch.
Let's do it by color.
Okay.
I don't know.
I give it green.
What's like the warning levels on the
Or I actually give it yellow.
Red is always. I thought
red
is-
alert or something
Well,
like
orange
that.
or yellow
Like-
is like good vibes, so I give it an orange or yellow.
Okay, how about this? How about we got taco sauce packet
the
of
taco
Sparkles.
sauce rating.
Would you give it a mild, a hot, a fire, or a scorcher?
That's actually a good rating system. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give
That's
it
actually what my rating system.
hot.
It's 5 flames.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a hot 2. So you're giving it a hot or scorcher?
definitely hot.
Hot. So we're all giving the orange.
I think it's
Taco
not
Bell
on
sauce
the next
packet.
level. I don't know if it really will match up that much to like a Hangover or like
no way,
like
no
a
way.
legendary comedy.
This unique feel about it. Like
Hangover was about public relations too. Everybody going to Vegas. Oh, let's party. I've had that. I want to have that experience.
Nothing. It's hard. You know, that's Hangover.
Party.
Okay. Hangover was also just like lightning in a bottle. It was just like it's hard to capture that perfect
timing is everything
together. But I just keep thinking of it because of the common actor today, Ed Helms, and then also just the comedy summer release. I think the other thing now that I think of it was like Hangover was like a rated R and like very just like
this one was rated R too, wasn't it?
I don't think this is rated R. I think this is PG.
Like a lot.
Yeah, but no like TNA.
Okay.
No, like
it might have been actually.
Times,
yeah, I forget. I was gonna say this wasn't as rated R, but maybe it was rated R, but it definitely wasn't like that far. You know, it was.
It didn't feel like it because the cursing was like subtle.
They kept it pretty clean.
If you take your kids, I don't think you're going to be too terrified or horrified of what they're going to be learning.
They just say the F word a little bit. So.
But overall, Tag solid. But I wanted to, if you guys want to transition, we can kind of add another movie just real quick that we've seen that I do want to recommend because part of what we try to do on this podcast is talk about films. Give our review.
We talk about movies. TV.
Yeah, usually on Thursdays, you do your videos, which are killing it. Sometimes I'll interview people from TV. It's just what we love. It's what we've worked in. The next was Hotel Artemis.
People helping people.
A Jodie Foster helmed vehicle. We also had the actor from what is his name from
Sterling K. Brown.
Sterling K. Brown from American Crime Story. Yeah. Really good in that. He's been around.
Black guy?
Yeah, and then he was also in the beginning
Black
of
Panther.
NWA, Straight Outta Compton.
He wasn't Black Panther.
He was in Black Panther.
That's where I remember.
Oh yeah, he's Killmonger's dad in Black Panther.
Yeah, like the People versus O.J. Simpson made.
Yeah, that was huge for him.
Oh yeah, he was
that
the
was
other
huge.
lawyer.
Yeah,
with the glasses.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, I forgot that was him. He looked different. But yeah, he's a really good actor. And Hotel Artemis, totally legit, by the way. Just first thoughts, like it was awesome. Yeah. And that guy was really good in it.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I could think of, I wanted to say he's in is I also remember him in Supernatural.
Oh, I never saw that part. Okay.
He was like a vampire hunter, and then he becomes
dude,
one.
Right.
Yeah,
wow,
everyone
like
starts in Supernatural.
Wow, that's crazy.
You know?
Yeah, it's early. Yeah,
gotta have that Supernatural episode as you're moving up. You know.
Yeah, like Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Good movie, and that's another movie too. Like that has a great cast.
Yes,
Artemis. Like it's not as big.
Jeff Goldblum.
It's not as deep, but it's definitely really quality.
Who was the Spock was in it? What is his real name?
Zachary Quinto.
Zachary Quinto. Dave Bautista was great from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Jodie Foster.
Jenny Slate.
Charlie Day from Always Sunny. You have the French girl from all those movies. Atomic Blonde. Mummy. I think when I think of a movie like Hotel Artemis, it kind of, to me, it happened because of a movie like John Wick. So it's the idea of like assassins and stuff. So if you haven't known anything about the trailer, it's a hotel, which is a hospital for people who are involved in crimes.
That's exactly what I thought during the movie. I was thinking, I was like,
kind of like The Tick in a way.
This is like John Wick, like. Because that's where he goes. He goes to that hotel in John Wick, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like totally the same.
Continental.
But it's interesting too because it's in the future, right? LA is just going to shit because of all the riots, which could have people go hungry, but also because people go thirsty because it's such a huge tax on water
because of the Democratic leadership.
Sure, some people think that as well. We don't know until we get there, so we'll find out.
No, we know. We've had it for years.
I like seeing Charlie Day from Always Sunny as a bad guy. I've never seen him as like he revealed to be a bad guy in Pacific Rim 2. Don't waste your time watching Pacific Rim Vulcan 2. That sucks.
Yeah,
go ahead and watch Hotel Artemis or Tag. But he plays a villain in Pacific Rim 2, and he did another kind of villain, gangster guy in this, and it worked well. So I think we're going to see a whole new career for Charlie Day.
Yeah, I like him when he plays bad.
Yeah.
It was good.
Short little mad guy.
Exactly.
Basically, you know. Be who you are, right?
It's a solid flick. I mean, it's a good action thriller type movie. Like, it's just fun. You've seen the idea before in other forms, but this is a good way of telling it, and worth your watch.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Besides that whole like similar premise with the hospital thing or the criminal hospital part. I did like this movie. Like I was gonna say, like it's very original. It's like original story.
Yeah.
I think it's just maybe a little derivative, not in a bad way, but it gets that idea here and there.
I just feel like
it brings it together.
So many tropes. You know, there's a guy who's trying to get out of the game, but his brother who has a drug addiction keeps bringing him back in.
That's the thing.
And
it's an original story, and that's cool. And
the characters weren't original. I think that's how it gets you, right?
It brings in some of those like
and it's cool because they're all they all knew each other because the hotel you have to have a membership, so that means you've been there before.
I was pleasantly surprised with how good Jeff Goldblum did because I'm never afraid of him as a bad guy, and I wasn't necessarily afraid of him, but I thought he did a good job kind of being an imposing villain.
Apparently, you've never seen the movie The Fly.
I've seen The Fly, but he's not. He's a victim. He's not really a villain in that.
Like crazy. He goes crazy.
And then Zachary Quinto did a great job as the over insecure, just loser of a son of a gangster. You know, I just feel like he's a bad guy. I don't know him, but the way he looks, the way he acts, he does a good bad guy. He has a good bad guy persona.
I don't trust gay people.
Well, I'm not saying that. But...
well, I mean, if you saw Heroes, he does play a really good bad guy.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Like he played what was it? Siler.
That's what I was gonna say.
Heroes. Oh, he was great. Yeah, great villain.
That's where he broke
That's
out.
probably what it is.
Yeah.
He got me so imprint of him being a villain in Heroes is so prevalent that I just can't look past it.
I always see him as Siler ever since.
Because he was genuinely scary in that first season. Like you're like, how are we gonna beat this guy?
And that shit got crazy. Like when he was like reading people's brains.
Yeah.
Like
a clock.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he could see how you tick. So
yeah.
okay, let's do a rating for Hotel Artemis then. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna go solid because I just like what I watched. So I'm gonna give it a slightly better than Tag. Okay, 3.4 flames out of 5, which would be 6.8 out of 10.
Yeah. I think I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say 3.5, just because I want to go a little bit more.
That's 7. That's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
7.9, possibly 8.
7.9, possibly 8.
It's Owner. I'm gonna buy that movie.
Wow.
It's that I can watch it again. It's a good movie.
You just overall loved every character. You big fan of seeing Jodie Foster back.
I like what happens at the end of the movie. It actually brings me back.
I think I know why you liked it at the end, because you have a thing where you don't like seeing certain people perish. Let's say.
That's just what I was referring.
And you didn't exactly have to deal with as much of that. You know?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Dude, okay. There's another thing worth mentioning about Artemis is that like one cool part of the movie was the tech.
Yeah,
and, like they had the hospital stuff,
that was pretty cool.
And it was like
3D
the hospital.
Really new
that's what I was gonna say. That's the first time we've ever seen, and actually most movies as of you guys, of 3D printing death.
Yeah.
So I'll always remember Hotel Artemis is like the first movie where they use a 3D printing death.
They used it a lot, really effectively in this movie.
Yeah.
Showed you could use it to print out
livers,
or guns.
Yeah.
It's like so they
really cool
showed
how
the
they
potential of what 3D printing can do.
Yeah, they said it in the near future, like I think it's 10 years in the future.
Yeah.
And but the tech goes really far. I mean, I think they exaggerated it for fun, but it looks cool and it's like it still is believable because there's a lot of 3D printing now.
Yeah,
obviously. And then they put the 3D printing. They have like these screens on the sheets that they pull over, and then they have like little balls that are like have holograms that they talk to, like just little touches.
I mean, it's the Alexa
cool.
Future.
You like seeing cool future stuff. It's kind of how we talked about Upgrade. You know, it's kind of cool seeing the ideas of future.
I like Hotel Artemis, Upgrade, like pretty much like you're saying, they're fun, like interesting movies. Like they're fun to watch, and like I'll watch it again, so it's definitely worth owning.
I think I'd slightly take Hotel Artemis, slightly.
Yeah, I'd take it over
just because of the cast.
Yeah.
But both watchable
over Upgrade.
Yeah,
for sure. Upgrade I like too, and I like that future stuff. They actually went further with the tech because of all that.
They did,
that stuff. So that was cool, and the fighting was actually really crazy in that movie too. But overall, I think I started to hint at this in the review. Upgrade, the ending kind of lost me.
Yeah,
I think it was a good premise, and then the end. I don't want to spoil it unless we want to. But
no.
I can talk about the details. But basically, it's just kind of like. That's why it's still like a 2 instead of a 3 for me.
Okay. So what do we got? We talked about
that was good.
Tag, solid.
Yeah. Hotel
Artemis, solid. Upgrade, watchable.
Hereditary.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get to. So we kind of ended again. Informational conversation with what folks shown as well as no bullshit. Now we we kind of like to end it with something we've been watching recently that we like to recommend. Sure. Okay, or not recommend. So which one do you want to take on? Because I know you both disliked Hereditary.
Let me shout out to Snow Chimp, who says we need to promote the second channel. We'll do that more, bro, for sure.
Most Thursdays, man, watching movies.
Every Thursday night almost. Le Plum something, I can't say this name. Le Pierrome says Goodevan, Brooks and Co. Or I think it's Good Day, maybe.
I think it means what folk show.
What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you got questions or comments, we'll check them out when we can. Yeah. But what were you saying?
Something you've been watching recently that you want to.
Hereditary is a no-go. I think we could talk about that briefly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard good things, so I wanted to go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard some people saying, "Oh, it's a scary one," and I heard that typical comment, like, "Oh, it's the scariest movie since The Exorcist."
And I think that is a death wish. I think that's a death sentence for a movie because the last 4 or 5 movies that have said that have been huge letdowns.
That's true.
It's just like a cliche line.
The Witch. Like they all have these cool premises and they're very slow burning movies and it's got a lot in it. They're creepy, but then the big build up, I feel the endings are usually like the letdown.
They have to do that for marketing though to get people in the seats.
I just feel like that's and you're right.
That's why I think with these horror movies, like we were mentioning stuff about them before in the trailer part, but like I feel like a lot of these horror movies, it's almost like clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
Like the clickbait is on the internet. It just tries to get you to click.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter what happens on the video. It could be nothing.
Yeah.
And I think with a lot of horror movies, it's like that. It's like they just want to clickbait you with the trailer.
Well,
and then get in there, and it's just like, oh, okay.
They tried to do something different with the trope that's been used so many times, and like halfway through it, you're like, okay, this is cool. It's like there's a lot of actions that I haven't seen before, and they're definitely using some, you know, the score was pretty intense and stuff like that. But then the ending goes a little too bonkers, too fast, without enough explanation. And sometimes you don't need explanation to explain a movie if you do well by showing it in the scenery and showing what's happening.
Yeah.
But they didn't give you enough.
Yeah.
We're on. I mean, maybe that's the point. You're supposed to be just as freaked out as what's happening to the people at the time. But
it's
big letdown.
Dude, honestly. I agree. Hereditary, like when I came out, it was just like I wanted to look everything up online. I was like, what happened? Like, what was this?
Oh, you were confused.
And I was like a little confused. That's not necessarily bad though, because I do that with shows I like or movies I like too. But overall, this one, my complaints were kind of more like were similar. You know, it's just like typical horror. It didn't have jump scares, which is nice, and like that's like appreciated because that's kind of like overused now. But overall, it was just like kind of long, and nothing happens in the middle, so it feels like it sags. And I get that they want to do this atmosphere and like this slow build. Yeah. But for me, it wasn't. It was just kind of like a weird payoff at the end.
It sounds kind of stale. It sounds like it wouldn't even make the mild version of our Taco Bell sauce.
Yeah, it's like a rating. 1 star. Like
I
wouldn't do.
I feel bad
one flame.
Yeah. It's a very good character study of a movie where like the actors do really carry the movie, but the thing is like you can carry a material only so far.
Yeah.
Like Toni Collette. Amazing job. Like she does such a good job.
Great actress.
Her and Nate Wolff, I think they really. I feel Gabriel Byrne gets kind of left on the back burner.
Yeah.
But like
story of his career, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, end of days, man.
Okay, so we got Hereditary as the negative watch, something we've seen recently. Personally, me, I was able to get 12 Strong from the library. Chris Hemsworth movie, Michael Shannon. I mean, very typical in terms of like an Iraqi war movie, but with a slight difference in terms of the story, which kind of made it a little more watchable for me. So much better, for example, than Lone Survivor, I would say. As good as a Zero Dark 30. Probably take Zero Dark 30 because of all the context behind it, kind of interesting investigative story. But overall, 12 Strong, not bad, you know. And there's actually, I guess, about those soldiers is a statue at the World Trade Center, because that was like one of our first reactions.
They're volunteers, right?
No, no, they're not volunteers. I mean, they volunteered to try to get the mission, but it was still their place to go.
Okay, got it.
But what happens is they interviewed a lot of different teams, and then their team got the go ahead.
Oh, that's okay.
And apparently, Chris Hemsworth like hadn't even been in combat yet, but all these guys have been following. It was really Michael Shannon kind of had his back, and he was kind of the main guy.
I thought you meant real Chris Hemsworth for a second. Sorry.
Well, it's funny though, because when you at the end, you see the real soldiers. Like, they don't look anything like the actors. Like these guys are way better looking.
Like Tag was like that too.
Tag as well. Yeah. Well, they were much older too in the picture we saw.
That's why I thought, just to bounce back to it now that we got that connection. I was pretty sure Tag like took liberties with the story. Like I think they just took the premise. And then maybe the whole part of it was probably all made up. Like it could have been 90%
in the chest with a.
We saw the thing with the grandma suit that happened. It was just a lot more.
There was like a few. Yeah, there was a few references. They did the golf carts because there was like a video at the golf carts.
There was a
they tried to bring stuff in, but you know, like it was like over the top, but in a good way. Now I'm not saying that to hate. But we're talking about what was like accurate.
You need to jack it up, man. It's a movie.
Yeah. Overall, it was a fun-filled.
I think that's a good place to almost end. I think.
Yeah, guys.
Any other thoughts on Tag or movies? Everybody got their.
Do you guys want to hear from them?
Yeah. Last shout out to the chat. Someone said, "Money, please respond." This is your response. I can't read your name, unfortunately. I think that's like Russian.
Might be Russian
or something.
Yeah.
But thanks for watching. We love Russia. Snow Chip says Counterpart is a good show. Anybody see Counterpart?
That's the new show, not Showtime.
I haven't seen it.
Is that Krasinski's?
No, it's
show.
You'll see that. We'll watch it together. Tom Clancy.
Huh. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's the one on Hulu?
No, it's on. I'm pretty sure it's on the Stars.
Okay. I don't know what it's about. I know what you're talking about. Like,
I think they had it on Hulu.
I want to get into it.
Well, speaking of Hulu, on the What the Falk Show, I'm gonna have a guest, Curtis Lum. He stars in the show Sirens on Hulu, and he's also had a part in season 2 of Supergirl. So you might have seen him. So you had that on SoundCloud iTunes coming out. Interview him about his career and what he's doing. So
cool. Thanks
for listening, guys.
Watch Stars for Counterpart. Thanks for the recommendation.
Guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you guys.
Thank you
for joining me.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for thanking me.
Thank you for thinking about thanking.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.